Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. Let's do a meditation together. Let's do a simple, shorter meditation together. First off, if you're newer to meditation, no worries. I will guide you through the whole thing. Second of all, really important to not have tension in your low back while we sit together. So take the moment to pause this after you go get a pillow or a blanket, something that props yourself up underneath your buttocks, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing right now. I'm doing this right along with you as I guide it. So, okay. From this space, you're seated on a pillow or blankets. It takes your knees below your hips. It takes pressure and compression off your low back. All I'd like you to do is take all the air you've got and breathe it out. Mouth wide open. Take in a breath, nice and easy. Pause it. Open your mouth, empty it out. Pause it. Before the next breath comes in, just hold up. The inhale will come in on its own. Pause it. Open your mouth, move that sound straight through to the bottom of your lungs. Pause. Let your breath come in. Here's a secret. You get the exhales out, free and clear. You're going to breathe in with more room, like you'll have more room, more length in your inhale. When you pause it at the top, it starts to give that message, oh, we're going to still your thinking mind. When you exhale it at the bottom, after you've really cleaned house on the breath out, there is just a tiny pause. There's a gap of space before your next breath comes in. And when the next breath comes in, it's coming in for you. And you're moving it all the way through. And as you do that, the short, shallow breaths we can normally take with our shoulders rounded when we're stressed, when we're hurried, nervous, worried, anxious, that starts to dissolve. So it starts giving a message on the inside of you. Your nervous system can kind of have some calm and some peace. That's what makes your actual human day-to-day different. Because you are planting seeds of feeling more settled on the inside. Doing that can still your mind, your usual head chatter I'm talking about, kind of just pause it, and then there can be room for quiet, therefore solitude. So take in a breath again. Notice when you exhale everything, there's a There's a bigger and longer breath in. Hold it there. As you exhale, drop your shoulders with it. Notice that when you really exhale in full, your shoulders truly drop down onto your back. If your shoulders are raised a little bit, they're kind of up. They're like your earrings. You'll recognize, oh, the musculature in my upper body is always a little bit contracted. It's always a little bit engaged. The muscles are engaged. And the more you can relax your body, the more you can breathe. The more you can kind of let your shoulders come down, the bigger space you have for air. But also, the more you can start to bring some calm and quiet to your thinking mind too. Because as you release some musculature with that exhale, it kind of takes things down a notch. In your stress factor. And if you're a little more settled in your body, you're going to have a little more calm in your mind. If you're going to have a little more calm in your mind, you're going to feel better emotionally. You're going to feel better physically. Okay? So there you go. Now go ahead, use your breath in to raise your arms up over your head. Palms face one another. Spread the palms really wide. Spread the fingers apart. And then I'd like you to connect your hands together, interlace your fingers over your head, and push straight up. And as you're pushing straight up, bear down into your chair, the bed, the couch, the floor, wherever you are. Press your hips down, like get anchored, and then your spine will naturally lift, okay? And I want you to just breathe out, and on that breath out, lean right. Come back to center, breathe in, push your butt down to let your spine lift up and away. And as you breathe out, lean left. Now release your arms, take them behind your back, interlace your fingers, clasp hold behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades into each other, into the middle back. And just stretch like you're stretching your chest to the ceiling and stretching your arms away from your back side. And release. Sweep the arms up on a breath in, and as you exhale, take them back, down, and around. Inhale them up. Exhale them back, behind you. Interlace your fingers, clasp your palms together. Push your shoulder blades into middle back. Hug the mid-spine with your shoulder blades on each side. Squeeze your arms away from you. Lift them away from your butt if you can. Pull your chest like you're stretching and lifting it up out of your shoulders toward the ceiling. You can look up if that's comfortable for your neck to get a stretch in your throat. You don't have to. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze those shoulder blades in. Squeeze your arms, squeeze your hands together if you can. If you can't reach your hands together, that's okay. Work with what you have and then release. Last thing, interlace your fingers in front of you, please. Push your arms and palms straight away from you like they're against a wall while you tuck your chin into your chest and curl your low back toward your feet. It's a subtle movement. Your upper mid-back pushes like it's against a wall. Breathe here. Breathe in. Open your mouth, move it out. Release your arms. Take your shoulders up to your ears. Squeeze them up there really tight. Hold them, hold them, hold them. Notice that you're not able to really release the exhale much, because holding the breath means you're going to hold the shoulders up. If you're holding the shoulders up, your breath is being held. Big sigh of relief. Drop your shoulders like they're 500 pounds of luggage. Nobody needs that much baggage, right? Let's meditate. Bring your 10 fingers together. Resting your arms on your legs. Just 10 fingertips touching. And as they're touching, look right at your thumb tips right now. I'll look at mine and you look at yours, okay? Feel your thumb tips are touching. Just put your concentration, like you're just funneling all your attention in mind on thumb tips touching. If you're familiar with meditation and you're familiar with the meditation I'm guiding you through and you want to close your eyes, go ahead. And just channel your concentration into your thumb tips. I stretched you out, you stretched you out to release some tension, to bring in some more, to create more room for breath in your lungs. We'll release a little tension in the upper mid-back. Or release some tension in the front. If you breathe easier, your mind will be more settled to be still and do this meditation. Funnel your focus into your thumb tips. You will physically feel either a tingling, a warmth, as you channel your focus into your thumb tips touching. And they're lightly touching. You'll physically feel that connection. And when you physically feel the connection the thumb tips have, your mind will be the one to know it. The body knows the feeling. The body says, I know there's a connection here. It's getting you out of your head and getting you connected to feeling the thumb tips touching. Feeling your thumb tips touching is simple, but simple doesn't always mean easy. But once you really just continue to practice, you'll crave the physical feeling of just your thumb tips. You'll crave it. Your nervous system will crave it. Bring your concentration now to your index fingers touching. Your eyes can be open or they can be closed. Think of all your concentration moving right to your forebrain, like your forehead center. And just, it's all pooled, sitting right in the center of your forehead. And it's just staring down at index fingers touching. Physically feel your index fingers touching. Drop further down. Drop your attention straight to your index fingers touching, like you're dropping an anchor. like you're in a boat and you're dropping the anchor. And let that anchor travel down. And as your breath starts to have more space and more room for the length of a breath in and the length of a breath out, you'll realize your thinking mind becomes a little more quiet so that you can concentrate. Bonus, your index fingers are touching. Recognize you're going underneath the surface of your usual thinking. You're going under the surface into something deeper. Very slowly, no rush, no hurry, but very slow. Right now, drop your eyes to your middle fingers touching. And land your eyes there like there is nowhere else you'd rather be. And let your middle fingers touching, the feeling of them connecting, be sent straight back to your brain as the knowing, when you're really with me and you're meditating and you're feeling your middle fingers, and as the anchor to come back to when you realize your mind wandered off, which is totally normal. Just because our minds are usually always in thought. All we're trying to do this morning is connect to something more than what we normally think about, because oftentimes if it's stressful, if it's worrisome, if it's anxiety producing, if it's just straight adrenaline of fear, you can't serve. We can't serve in survival. We can't show up our best in survival. Like, that's more like survival thinking. And all you need to know is that, then your breathing is usually halted or held. And you'll be so deep in your thoughts and so lost wherever they take you, you probably wouldn't even notice, because holding the breath creates a disconnect to us feeling. So feel your exhale coming down, down, down. Notice when you give all that exhale up, you have opportunity to really feel your middle fingers touching. When the breath starts to come in quieter and slower, that's a deeper relaxation your mind is receiving. If our brains were jumping around, even if it wasn't stressful, even if it was all good stuff and you're super excited, like a puppy dog jumping up and down at the door, just bring in that into a little more balance too. Now channel your eyes straight down to your third fingers touching. Your third fingers. They know they're touching. And when the mind says, "Oh, I know they're touching," and someone says, "How do you know?" What would you say? When you really know, how do you know? You know because you feel it. You don't say, "I think my third fingers are touching." They are touching. They are actually physically touching, but you are having a mind your mind is syncing up to what your body knows, which is called the mind-body connection. So I would say that's probably, as Kermit the Frog sang, the rainbow connection. The mind and body being aware right here, right now, is you at your most powerful. Because your head's fully in the game. You're really connected to your third fingers touching. Somewhere, it's like the rest of all your thinking died down. It's like, without even you realizing it, a handful of merry maids came in and just started cleaning house, dusting the corners of your mind, polishing, maybe boxing some things up. Because a lot of your thoughts are, angst and worry, nervous tension. That's just the energy of a fear, even if it's a low-grade fear. Your third fingers are still touching. Long breath in. Pause it. Empty. Every bit. Don't rush it though. Just let it all pour through. Your eyes drop to your pinky fingers touching. Your pinky fingers touching. Feel that. They know they're touching. Do you feel warmth? Do you feel tingling? Do you feel like they're melding together? You'll feel it in your own way, because we each have our own level of sensitivity. The more you are not locked up in the gridlock of your thoughts with no space in between, you're going to have more of a physical, you're going to have be more sensory oriented to feeling your pinky fingers touching. I've had plenty of moments where I've sat down to meditate, and I sat down really consumed in mind. Like I've plunked down to meditate, and meditation meets me at the good grief kind of thinking of my own mind. And I can have moments where I could connect in to go, oh yeah, I got it. And then I have moments where I'm thinking about the neighbor upstairs because I hear her pipes running. Or sometimes I think, I gotta hurry this up. I gotta go. And then I come back. I realize I've wandered off. I've lost the connection. I've lost the moment. And then I wake up. As soon as I kind of realize that, I'm like, oh, nope. And I'm back. And right now I'm back. Pinky fingers touching. Let the power of all these fingertips, all your fingertips, gently pressing together, be the anchor, a stronger anchor that really keeps your concentration. Just razor it straight to your pinky fingers touching. So if you wander off, you're normal. You're human. And you just come back. You just come back. You come back. Feel all 10 of your fingers touching now. Try this if you haven't already. Just attempt to close your eyes. Now you can't physically see them, but can you feel them? Now as my eyes are closed, all my fingers together, I feel that, which makes me even more aware that my neighbor's in her shower because the water is running through the pipes. And yet because my mind is more settled, more centered, more still, I don't feel like it's a disturbance to my meditation. It's part of it, actually. Now I'm hearing traffic outside. You might be too. It doesn't have to be a disturbance. And it doesn't have to break your concentration either. You can just kind of, when your nervous system is just more peaceful, things aren't going to feel like a disruption or a disturbance or that big a deal. When your nervous system feels stirred up and triggered, when you're feeling unsure, when something has happened that's really thrown you or upset you or hurt you, or when you're in fear, you're more likely to be triggered. You're more likely to be gripped. And so as a result, you can't really show up in a fully relaxed way. Agreed? Feel your 10 fingers touching. I hope this meditation, handpicked for you out there, wherever you are, I hope that this gave you some benefits that you know because you feel them. You feel your mind a little quieter. You feel your emotional self just finding just a little more And you can stay as long as you like, just physically feeling all 10 of your fingers touching. If time allows, stay a little bit longer and just root the strength of peace and quiet into your system. Because we are so stimulated, not just by our personal life experience, but just by turning on the TV, the radio, the newspaper, picking up our phone and seeing the social media, latest headline, things like that. We are bombarded with moments we could either react or just pause. Like Gandhi said, let no one walk through your mind with their dirty feet. When your mind feels more centered, you'll feel more mentally and emotionally stronger. Okay? When you're not in a survival breath, you're in the parasympathetic nervous system. When you're in survival breath, that's fight or flight. I hope this benefits you. And I thank you for practicing with me. And you're needed out there in the world. So go be you in full. From a serene place, you shine out. Heart to heart. Namaste.